Well, guys, the Titans got blown out by the Detroit Lions 14-52. They dropped to 1-6, and if the season ended today, they would have the second pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Guys, we are in for some dark times ahead of us. Hey, Titans fans, how's it going? Titan Uprising here. Thank you for tuning in. Man, I remember the years of Jake Locker, the Mariota years, where it feels like, once we hit Mariota, it feels like we were starting to get a little out of the hole. But man, remember Mettenberger too? Man, we had some years with bad quarterback play, bad offenses, bad coaching, and it seems like it's coming back full circle again. We had the little glory years there with Vrabel as the head coach. It really started with Mike Mularkey, but then it went to Vrabel, and we had Tannehill and Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, and we had Jurrell Casey, Delanie Walker. We had some good players, and just, man, it feels like a century ago almost. It feels like it doesn't feel like it was really that recent. I mean, you gotta figure, it's 2024. This team was just playing in the AFC Championship game about 5 years ago. Times change fast, and that's what happens, in my opinion, when you don't have a franchise quarterback. Teams like the Bills, they peaked when the Titans peaked as well, but they're continuing to do well because they have the franchise quarterback. The Titans peaked, and they didn't have a franchise quarterback. They had Ryan Tannehill, but he's not Josh Allen. You add that in also with bad drafting. I mean, we're still seeing the after effects here of John Robinson, because these are John Robinson's years where those picks that he's supposed to be having right now that were supposed to, if they were good, those are the players that are supposed to be on his team. We basically have shedded any pick that is J-Rob related. I mean, I can't even name that many people. Jeffrey Simmons, he's definitely a John Robinson pick. I'm trying to think of who else on this team. There's not many guys. There's really not. That's 3 years where he was missing, and that's that many years worth of bad draft picks that we don't have on this team anymore. Oh, geez, can't forget Treylon Burks. He's still on the team. What a waste. That's A.J. Brown's trade right there. Guys, and I was a Burks believer too. That's his signed helmet right there. And by the way, I've already said it once. If you guys are interested, make me an offer. I'll sell it. It'll be cheap. Don't even want it anymore. I think Treylon Burks is officially a bust. Just can't stay healthy. Doesn't seem like he has passion. I don't know. I don't know. Guys, but this is what happens, okay? That's what happens when you have subpar quarterback play, who was basically a game manager in Ryan Tannehill, followed with bad draft picks. It all blew up, and the writing was on the wall. And it really started with A.J. Brown when he got traded. That was the start of the downfall. And you can really blame John Robinson, who I still do blame. But if we get into the current coaching staff here and the current regime with Ran Carthon, Rand's actually doing some good, he's putting together some good draft classes here. And it's clear that the guy can evaluate talent. And it's clear that he is, I think, a good GM. But these guys inherited a bad roster. Even Vrabel was struggling. Vrabel was a hell of a coach, but he was struggling to keep these guys playing because he got dealt bad draft picks too. I remember when Vrabel said, he's like, I can only coach who I have. I mean, that was basically like throwing John Robinson under the bus. I mean, you can only coach who the GM drafts. And remember, he didn't want A.J. Brown to get traded. Vrabel said he would not let that happen when he was head coach, and he got traded anyways. Guys, that was the start of the downfall. And so we have to climb up from there. We're rebuilding left side of the line. The defense looks like it's good. Special teams is horrible. I have some stats here for you guys, okay? I'm going to pull them up, and you're not going to like these. They're actually pretty sickening when it comes to Tennessee Titans special teams. The Titans have allowed the most punt return yards in the NFL with 454. That's insane. The next up, second closest, is New England Patriots with 312. That's 142 more yards than the next highest team, which is the Patriots. There have also been 10 teams who have punted more than the Titans, but opponents have returned more Titans punts than any other team in the NFL. Remember, guys, the Titans had an early bye week too. This is with them having a bye week. This is a coaching issue. I mean, it's bad. Now, some people I know are saying that Stonehouse has such a big leg and he's booting it so far. We don't have the players to go run it down. I get that, but if that's the case, the Titans are also the only team in the NFL that has not punted the football out of bounds. Tell them to kick it out of bounds. That's coaching. I mean, if you have a guy that has such a big leg on him, you need to have him put more air on it, or you need to have very, very fast guys, gunners, to get down there and get the freaking guys catching the punt. And guys are returning all the Titans punts because they know they can take it to the house. When they come up and Tennessee Titans are on the schedule and you're a punt returner, you're licking your chops because you know that there's a good possibility you're going to have a great day and there's a good possibility you're going to get a touchdown. That's insane. They're looking forward to this. I mean, it's bad coaching, guys. Like I said, you either tell them to punt it higher, tell them to punt it out of bounds, something. You can't keep giving up that many yards. The fact that he's not fired, the fact that the special teams coach is not fired. Now, the guy that's second up has never been, I can't think of his name right now, he's never been a special teams coordinator before. Like the guy calling the plays, calling the shots. So there's that unfamiliarity. And also, I think that this is just a testament to, like, this Titans team is tanking, guys. The defense is good, like I said earlier. The offense and the special teams are bad. Special teams, if you don't fire that special teams coordinator, I mean, he will probably be fired by the end of the season unless this special teams gets even worse, which is hard to believe. Also, the Titans have lost their last 2 games without scoring a single point in the second half. And the fact that they're not making changes on special teams, making changes on the offense side of the ball, not making changes at all, this team is tanking. They're not going to come out and say it, obviously, but, you know, they traded DeAndre Hopkins, they traded Ernest Jones. That's writing on the wall with tanking, but when you're not going to fire coaches that obviously suck, like your special teams coordinator coach, and you have horrible special teams, probably the worst I've ever seen, somehow worse than last year, you're not firing them? It's almost like you want that to happen. You want to lose games. You are horrible. The fact that we hired an offensive-minded head coach, too, and his offense sucks, can't score a single point in the second half, and 2 games back-to-back, that's worrisome, too. Guys, I'm a Titans fan. I will always be a Titans fan. I can't switch. I'm not a guy that can switch teams. I wish I could sometimes, but I can't. I love them. I will always love them. Breaks my heart on Sundays, even though I know they're going to lose. And I kind of want them, and I know this isn't right of me, but I kind of want them to lose at this point. I want a high draft pick. I'm sick of this team. You know, if they get a 7th overall pick, 8th overall pick, no, you need a top 5, top 3. I would prefer the number 1 pick, because if you don't like any quarterback this year, trade it. Get out of there and accumulate picks. It's worked for other teams. That's the state of the Tennessee Titans that we're in right now. We need help, especially on offense, but we need a lot of help with this football team. I don't know if the Brian Callahan experiment will end at the end of this year. I imagine that the Will Levis experiment is already over, but when he does come back, he's going to get all the looks and the reps because they still want to evaluate him. But from what we've seen so far, I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy. I mean, does he add more flash and you know, make football more fun to watch than Mason Rudolph? Yeah, definitely. But I just don't know. I don't think he's the guy. Hopefully he can prove me wrong. Man, it's tough. Dark days, like I said, for us Titans fans, but, you know, we're going to be able to see some of these young guys play football, which is good. You know, guys like Cedric Gray, that rookie linebacker from USC, he's activated. He should be able to play this week, which is awesome. I really want to see him. I think that's one of the reasons why they traded Ernest Jones, because they can get a good look at the middle linebacker. I want to continue to see Jarvis Brownlee grow. You know, we don't have our full secondary back yet. We don't have Cheeto, and Snead's been out So, we haven't seen the secondary at its strongest, really, besides maybe just like one game. I think week 1, maybe week 2. I don't think those guys have played a whole lot together. We still have Roger McCreary on the inside as well. This defense is good. So, I want to see some continued growth there. I want to see the right side of the offensive line continue to keep churning through those right tackles and see if we can get somebody there, because, it's obviously a glaring issue. Latham gave up some pressures as well last week, and I think gave up a sack. It's just, he's growing. He's a good player. He's a rookie. And this whole offensive line, the offensive line of the unit is, the left side's good, the right side sucks, but the left side has not looked great, has not looked good at times either. And this whole team needs work. The whole offense needs work. There's times where Mason Rudolph has a ton of time too, and he hasn't been able to do anything with the football or make stupid plays, which is something that Levis did too. These guys are missing open reads. That comes down to coaching. This is also Brian Callahan's first year being an NFL head coach, so we have to have some patience here. We have to see what this can do. I was watching the game yesterday, and they talk about how Dan Campbell, he also had a rough first season, and they name other coaches, and look at the Lions now. It's a team that us Titans fans would aspire to be like, and maybe hopefully one day we are, and I'd love for it to be with Brian Callahan. I don't want to see him get fired. I believe in him, or I should say in the beginning of the season. There's a lot to take away from this season, because this could be a very pivotal season. We can end up cleaning the house on the staff, on the roster. There's a lot that could happen. So it does make it interesting to watch and to see what this team's going to do. So we just want to really hope that we can see some player growth. That's at this point. That's what I want to see. The playoffs are they're out the window. Unless this team ain't gonna go on, what are they, 1-6? They're not gonna go on a 10-1 run to go to 11-7. They're not going to go on a 9-2 run to go to 9-8, and that's just not. Or sorry, 10-8. That's just not going to happen. Sorry, 10-7 and 9-8. Can't even do math, guys. That's just not going to happen. It's not. This team can't do it. They have the bunch of division games coming up, and the division looks so good too. Besides Tennessee, Jacksonville's bad, but they're going to lose again to Indy. They're going to get swept by the Texans. And if they do win another game in the division, it's going to be against the Jaguars, because they're not very good either. And then we have the New England Patriots up next. I'll make a video on that later this week. But, man, if they lose the Patriots, I mean, I already think this is the worst team in the NFL, but you are absolutely the worst team, bottom of the barrel, if you lose the Patriots next week. Yeah. Dark days, like I said, guys. But as always, we have to find the positives. We're all fans of the team. So just continue, like I said, to watch for growth and see what we can take away from the rest of the season. Guys, let me know what you think down below. Are you bummed out? Are you still watching it like I am, diehard Titans fans? If you're watching this video and we're 1-6, you're with me, guys. I appreciate it. And guys, as always, tighten up.